Right. Thank you so much, colleagues, guests and friends. It's my absolute pleasure to join you virtually from London. And unfortunately, due to an urgent situation, I will not be able to join or dial in during the live session. However, I want to use this opportunity to share my keynote address with the participants of this great conference of the Green STEM ECF Nigeria Symposium 2025. Now, the title of my address is Human Capital for Industrial Transformation in an AI-enabled Nigeria. And I want to focus on what the challenges and the opportunities ahead are. My name is Salisu for anyone that is not familiar with who I am. I'm currently the CEO of NatQuest. NatQuest is a supply chain technology company based in the UK and operates globally. And I also serve as an adjunct professor at the uh, University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. So it's my absolute pleasure to be part of this really interesting symposium. And thanks to all the participants, particularly to the organizers, my friends, my colleagues, for this amazing initiative. Now, it is important that we recognize that today, my contribution to this interesting gathering is how can Nigeria harness its human capital in order to transform industries in an era of increasingly adoption of AI? Now, today, there is no any abstract debates about whether Nigeria will compete in global economy or remain on the margin. It is about jobs, industries, and the future of young people. So where Nigeria stands today? Nigeria has the largest youth population in Africa, yet millions of youths and young people are unemployed or underemployed. At the same time, industries complain that they cannot find the right skills. This is a massive paradox. People without jobs and the jobs without people. Now, our industries should focus on finding the right balance. Think about today, many industries or factories that we have today run on outdated equipment. We still rely on importation of heavy and productivity of both talent and equipment, especially in places like the oil and gas. Meanwhile, across the world, AI automations are changing how industries function, from predictive maintenance in factories to machine learning in agriculture. So I believe if we do not act, Nigeria risks being a consumer of technology rather than a contributor to it. Now, I'll focus on three key areas. Human capital gap. Number one, skill mismatch. Our educational system often prefers students to, to go through a system, not obviously for the future of how the skill required and of course the skill acquired can match for the future of industries, particularly in STEM areas. We have weak industry and academia collaboration. It's very difficult for you to see an industry, across sectors, leveraging on the universities or the academic institutions that we have in order to align priorities. Policy gap, right? National strategy are drafted, but not followed through. You have human capital development institutions, but at the end of the day, they are all fragmented. Now, so what are the key opportunities that I see for an AI-enabled industrial ecosystem in Nigeria? We all know that we have incredible startup ecosystem in Nigeria. Many of them are competing at global stage. So I want to narrow down specifically to some key sectors: agriculture and agro-processing. This is a very key, interesting industry and will serve as the largest employer in Nigeria, but is still, largely manual and inefficient. Today, we are seeing AI-enabled tools that can predict, manage soil health, reduce waste, and even accelerate the process of agro-processing. So this means food processed locally, with higher potential for export and of course, post-harvest economic benefits. Secondly is manufacturing and assembly. Really interesting area, massive opportunity. But most Nigerian factories suffer from, frequent downtime, low efficiency. So today we have AI-powered tools that are accessible, can do things like predictive maintenance, reduce, breakdowns, simple robotic process automation. This is a massive opportunity that can attract and put Nigeria at a global stage. Construction and infrastructure, really interesting area because we need more houses, we need more infrastructure, we need basic shelter. So today we have AI-driven project management, that can cost, fractional amount compared to what other, developed countries are paying. We can develop these solutions in-house. These are things that can reduce delay, reduce fraudulent practices in procurement of construction material, bill of quantities, managing efficient supply chains. We have seen drones that are powered by AI, providing incredible opportunity for the industry to be efficient. This could be a transformative, rapid development within the sector. And finally, healthcare and pharmaceuticals. As Nigerians, we import, large amount of, medical equipment and pharmaceuticals. But today we are seeing the application of AI-powered, systems, tools, and applications that can provide easy access to healthcare. And I think this is a very interesting area that we should focus. Now, what are the practical pathways forwards? Now, I believe, especially that we are talking about STEM, education, contribution to national industrialization, transforming supply chain, to be more, economically viable to everyone and every industry. I believe Nigeria has the opportunity, to tap into this massive growing industry. But we have to do, number one, curriculum redesign for STEM, because STEM is key to how industries can be transformed. We must overhaul education. The graduate must leave universities with practical exposure and modern industrial tools. We need more, secondly, industry-led training collaborations. Think about this, where industries should not just wait for universities alone. Manufacturing firms, oil and gas companies, technology providers, startups can work in an ecosystem. This can create an immediate pipeline of industry-ready talent and impact. We need a national AI internship schemes. And this should be a structured program to place young Nigerians into AI-powered companies, startups, companies that are doing, initiatives in AI to look for opportunities, both locally and abroad. We also need industrial cluster with AI support. And then finally, mobilizing Nigerian diaspora, which is key. And I'm glad to see that there's new development in particularly education sector to bring that level of collaboration. But we must not just ignore the challenges. Some of these challenges, they are concerned around job displacement, ethical, considerations and regulations, infrastructural weakness. These are all key things that we cannot ignore. And I think for us to reframe human capital for an industrial transformation in Nigeria, we must change how we think about Nigerian youths, education, and industrialization, because they are correlated. And too often, they are described as job seekers waiting for opportunities, specifically the Nigerian youths. And instead, for me, I see the opportunity. I see the big picture. They must be positive. They must think about solving initiatives, opportunities into entrepreneurship. Today, AI should be a catalyst. We should not just see AI as a threat to Nigerian workers or industries. It should be seen as a forceful multiplier effect from creativity, to productivity. Industrialization in itself is not about machines alone. It's about the people, the engineers, the data scientists, the technicians, the entrepreneurs. So with the right skills, we can turn ideas into products, resources for industrialization. So finally, to conclude my remark, obviously, I believe this is an incredible time. Massive opportunities, access to information, access to tools, powerful technology. But the question is, what would it take for Nigeria to become the talent hub for an AI-enabled industries in Africa, rather than just a consumer of imported products? I believe most Nigerians are using the likes of ChatGPT platforms and others. How can we part of development of this massive industry? Number two, how can we redesign education so that every Nigerian graduate leaves with at least one practical AI-related industrial skill? And my last question to you is, if Nigeria allocated even a modest share of an oil revenue into STEM, particularly focus on human capital development, what would our industrial economy look like, say, in 2030 or 2035? So, gentlemen and ladies, the answer to the above questions will not be found abroad. But I believe, I'm absolutely clear, they will be found here in Nigeria by Nigerians, drawing from our greatest resources, our people. So, ladies and gentlemen, the challenges are many, but the opportunities are greater. Industrial transformation will not only be imported. I believe it will be imagined, will designed, built here in Nigeria based on our human capital development and the power of AI. Thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, I'm not here in person, and perhaps I did not dial in during the session due to some really urgent reasons. However, if you have any question, or you want to share anything with me or ask anything, or anything that you think we should have conversation about, I'm more than happy to hear from you. I'll drop my email and my LinkedIn profile page. We could have conversation after the event. Thank you so much indeed, and thanks to all the organizers. Particularly, I want to really appreciate the the support of the of the ESCOs, or perhaps the management of the STEM organization. Particularly my very good friend and colleague within the the STEM charitable organization. So thank you so much all, and I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully very soon. Thank you indeed. Thank you. Cheers.